Hey, Big Cheese here with Big Cheese Adventures, and this is episode 2 or day 2 of our 48 states time lapse. So, hey, started off in the morning, leaving Sparks, and the first thing we had to do was get some gas. We came in pretty low on gas. And then it was back out onto the freeway, back out onto I-80. And once we got out of town, first of all, the traffic was pretty good, and that there wasn't that much. We're driving into the sun a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. But once we got a little ways out of town, the speed limit was up to 80, which meant that we made some really good time as we headed northeast along Highway 80, Interstate 80. We're going to come back to Interstate 80, I think, later on in the trip, but for right now, there we are, making great time. As I say, not much traffic, great speed limit, and the weather was fantastic. It was beautiful. It was a little chilly outside, but not too bad. This is our first full day, and we were heading towards somewhere in Montana. We made several different plans: Missoula, Billings. If things went really well, we were thinking we might even be able to get to, where was it? Miles City, I think, was another idea we had. So big plans. Yeah, made really good time in the morning coming through Nevada. As I say, great speed limit, very little traffic. Heading as I say northeast to a place called Winnemucca, where we were going to pull off. I think Winnemucca is just coming up here, and we turned off and then we started heading north. Maybe it's a little further. Yeah, so kind of boring scenery, but it was clear. It was nice driving, and here we go, coming off Winnemucca. Kind of drove through town a little bit on this little side road, and then back on a highway. This is Highway 95, which we're going to spend a good part of the rest of the day on, heading north from Winnemucca. Little lower speed limit. Although it was two lane, a lot of places there were some good, passing lanes. Traffic wasn't too bad. Didn't have too many problems making good time there. So heading towards McDermott, which was right on the border and between Nevada and Oregon. So Oregon was going to be our second state, and things were going well. It's sort of mid to late morning at this point, and heading almost due north. We were sort of starting to settle into a bit of a routine. I remember this morning we were eating a lot of snacks, and whoa, there's Oregon. We actually almost missed it. We kind of drove by it, and Sylvia caught it. We weren't really paying attention. We'd kind of a little bit of sleep at the wheel on the navigation there, but there we are, second state, Oregon. Into Oregon, the speed limit went down a little bit, but still not too bad. It was pretty scenic here. Pretty much once we got into Oregon, it started getting a little bit more scenic, hilly. As I say, still it was a lovely day. Traffic was not too bad at all, making good time. I remember this first day we we'd bought a lot of snacks before, and we were eating a lot of snacks, and I was getting kind of worried about how the trip was going to go with eating. Luckily, we kind of slowed down after the first day, but we were having a fair number of snacks. And then as we headed north, we stopped. I think it's just coming up here in a minute or two. We stopped for gas at Jordan Valley, and then from there the road kind of headed back north, and we're heading into next state was Idaho. Hard to kind of gauge here where exactly we are here, but I think heading north and east along Highway 95. Yeah, so yeah, there we go. That was the gas stop, Jordan Valley. Filled up with gas, bathroom break, and we were off. Now, the Idaho border, as you'll know from our video of the Idaho border, there was not much there. We in fact kind of missed it and then turned around and went back and then went back. There it is. there wasn't really a welcome to sign. There was just a sign there that said, you know, Idaho, you know, has a seatbelt laws or whatever. We pulled over a little bit further ahead and got our pictures. As I say, there was no welcome to Idaho sign. Now, once we got into Idaho, it got a lot more scenic, a lot more hilly. The first little bit, we climbed up quite high up over this ridge here, and then dropped into pretty heavy farming area. And this was actually kind of interesting because just up here, just a little ways up, yeah, you can see the little stakes on the side of the road there. Yeah, these are all like hop farms going through here, so that's all hops there, hop growing area. Um, yeah, this part was kind of agonizing because we kept like every couple miles we'd be hitting a town and slowing down. The speed limits were really slow, and there was a bit of traffic and no passing zones. It was kind of painful coming through, you know, southern part of Idaho, working our way up through, was it Nampa? Then we got on 86 at one point, and then through like Fruitland and a couple other of those towns. Still kind of going up 95, but we kind of skirted around Boise, but it was kind of painful because of the, as I say, the traffic, the low speed limits, the no passing lanes, and what have you. So we did not make good time coming up here through Idaho. Then once we kind of got out of that farming community, got a little bit further north. I think, was it after New Meadows? It started to open up a little bit. Well, actually, as I said that, and we're still there. I think that might have been New Meadows there, but then we right up here in a little bit, we got into some really lovely kind of forested area. It was really nice. Some sort of state forest, state recreational area. Um, was quite pretty. Um, Late afternoon, you know, at least the traffic was sort of opening up. It was getting a little bit better, but we still weren't making very time. Yeah, here's this forested area we went through, which was really, really pretty. And then after this, it opens up a little bit again, and then we got into the Hells Canyon National Recreational Area, which was actually really, really a kind of a neat place. We went down through this canyon. You can tell it was a pretty touristy place, although Thanksgiving it was kind of dead. There wasn't a lot going on there. Yeah, here's some more of this. This was kind of getting into Hell's Canyon area. This was one place where my radar detector did save me. There it went off. You'll see up ahead. I catch up and I follow a pickup truck for a little bit. And yeah, here it is. I was about to go flying by this guy, and my radar detector went off, and sure enough, there was a cop, um, and he was patrolling. He would have got me. So this is coming out of Hell's Canyon recreational area, and then dropping down towards Lewiston, and coming out of this is still Hell's Canyon. Somewhere around here, we stopped for a bathroom break. The car is going to pull over for just a second. There was a porta potty on the side of the road in a little pull-off area. Yeah, climbed out. This was quite the climb. Looking back was like pretty cool. And then coming back down the other side, out onto the open plain here. This is outside of the Hells Canyon area. Coming into, I guess it would be Grangeville, and that was a turn for Grangeville. Here, luckily, we were going just a little bit north, not just west, but the sun was pretty bad along here. I remember kind of having to adjust my seating so I could get behind things, so I wasn't getting the sunshine on me. This was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, starting to come into Lewiston. We stopped for dinner in Lewiston, had something to eat there, and we picked up Clarkston, which was our stop for Washington. Washington State, which was our second state of the day. Yeah, here we are coming into Lewiston, and at some point we join onto a bit of a freeway, and the road gets a lot better as we do the last final. So yeah, there we go. There's the last final stretch into Lewiston. There's Lewiston, the pulp mill there, pulling off the highway through Lewiston and around the side of Lewiston over to Clarkston, and we crossed the bridge there. And Washington sign was like right after the bridge. There was nowhere to stop. So I just freeze frame. We parked and walked back and got pictures. Then we went for dinner, got gas. And at this point, we were going to go continue up 95 and pick up I-90 down to Missoula, but we decided we're going to take 12, which kind of backtracked a little bit, but looked a lot shorter. Little did we know is that 12 was kind of I wouldn't say quicker, but it was certainly a, yeah, here's that trailer. I followed that trailer for quite a while. This is coming out of Lewiston on Highway 12. And yeah, it was kind of freaky driving along there. The first bit wasn't too bad because there was a fair bit of traffic, but the last bit, we were obviously climbing. There was quite a bit of snow on the sides of the roads, and there were some spots where it was quite, there was a little bit of ice on the road, and it was I was a little bit freaked out driving, and there weren't many cars. That was a big, quick pee break. There weren't many cars on the road. You can see here where we're getting to, like, we go fairways between, well, actually not here, but later on, we go fairways between cars, and I was sort of thinking, geez, I gotta really back off a little bit, because if I put the car into the ditch or something, it might be a long time before someone comes along, and there was no cell service, and Sylvia was asleep at this point. She was resting at this point. Would have been really scenic during the day because it's all following a river, and you could see there was, it was obviously quite scenic, nice forest and nice winding river. We were going up a river valley, and at one point there was a fair bit of fog as well. So we're getting into fog, and as I say, it was I don't the temperature wasn't too bad. It was like just a little bit below freezing, so I wasn't too worried. But there was fog on the road, and at one point, right just before we got to the Montana state line, I felt the car slip a little bit on a corner and kind of freaked me out a little bit. But we did well. Yeah, you can see here that it's a long time between cars coming by, and it's kind of zigzaggy. You can see the corners back and forth quite a bit, and slowly climbing up to the state line with Montana. To say, this was about, now it was about 9, 10 o'clock at night by now. We were just going to head to Missoula. We'd given up getting to Billings or anywhere further like that. But we were going to get to Missoula. We knew that we were going to get there. And that would have been our, let's see, would have been our 1, 2, so Oregon, Washington, our third state for the day and fourth state for the trip. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, maybe not yet, but as we go here, this gets a little bit more. Yeah, you can start seeing snow on the side of the road there. And the final little bit, we kind of climb up and we get to the Montana state line. I think that's coming up. Yeah, you can see more and more snow on the side of the road here. There's that. I think this is the final climb. Somewhere around there, one of these corners is where I kind of freaked out. There we are, Montana state line. I think it was about like 10 o'clock at night. Wasn't much traffic. Kind of a little bit freaked out here, and it was about 20 degrees up at the top there. So it was definitely fresh. Coming down, coming up here, we had our sort of big excitement for the whole trip. First of all, coming down, I was taking it pretty easy, but coming down just before Lola, we had a deer come out in front of us. Now, I'm running the GoPro on a time lapse, a pretty fast time lapse, and then I've actually doubled it. There we go. There's the deer. We have one frame of that deer I was able to find, just the one frame, but that was the deer. This is coming into Lola. And anyways, the deer, that woke us both up because I hit the brakes really hard. We just missed it. Coming into Missoula, coming in sort of the back way into Missoula, then we go right through Missoula onto I-90, and then the next exit off of I-90 and to our hotel. We stayed at, was it the Hilton Garden Inn? Hey, Big Cheese for Big Cheese Adventures. Don't forget to subscribe. And we got more videos coming. Day 3 should be coming up soon. I'm figuring out how to edit these things, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos.